The first time I found out my wife had been calling me a deadbeat dad online, I was standing outside my daughter's school holding a pink lunchbox. Not metaphorically. Literally. Pink lunchbox in one hand. Water bottle in the other. A tiny cardigan hanging over my arm because my 6-year-old daughter, Lily, had somehow decided that sleeves were annoying halfway through the walk. I had just kissed her goodbye at the classroom door when another mom looked at me like she'd seen a ghost. Then she said, "Oh. You actually do school drop-off?" I laughed because I thought she was joking. I said, "Every day I'm not working early." She went bright red. Then she looked down at her phone like she wished it would swallow her. That was the first crack. The second came 10 minutes later. My sister sent me a video with one message. "James, what the hell is this?" I opened it in my car. It was my wife. Amelia. Sitting on our bedroom floor, crying into the camera. Soft lighting. Messy bun. Oversized jumper. The whole performance. And across the screen were the words. "Married single mom, day 47. I watched my wife wipe her eyes and whisper. "Some days, I just wish Lily had a father who wanted to be present." I remember staring at the video, completely still. Because 30 minutes before that video went live, I had packed Lily's lunch, braided her hair, walked her to school, spoken to her teacher about her reading book, and reminded Amelia that she had a brand call at 10. And apparently, I was the absent parent. My name is James. I'm 34. My wife Amelia is 32. And until that morning, I thought our biggest problem was that she spent too much time on her phone. I had no idea she had turned our marriage into a tragedy series. I met Amelia when I was 26. She was funny, beautiful, chaotic, and somehow always 5 minutes late while insisting time was a social construct. I was the opposite. Careful. Organized. Boring, according to my friends. I paid bills early. I read instructions. I saved receipts. Amelia used to say I made life feel safe. I used to say she made life feel alive. For a long time, that was true. When Lily was born, everything changed in the way people warn you it will, but you never really understand until you're standing in a kitchen at 3 a.m, holding a screaming newborn, wondering if humans were a mistake. Amelia struggled after the birth. I don't say that cruelly. She did. She was exhausted. Anxious. Disconnected from herself. She loved Lily, but motherhood hit her like a storm. So I adjusted. I took every night feed I could. I used my annual leave. I cooked. Cleaned. Handled nappies. Booked health visitor appointments. Tracked feeds on an app like I was managing a small drunk CEO. When Amelia cried because she didn't feel like herself anymore, I held her. When she said she wanted to start posting online about motherhood, I encouraged it. At first, it helped. She made short videos about the mess, the exhaustion, the weirdness of becoming a mother. People related to her. She was honest. Or at least, I thought she was. She gained followers slowly at first. Then one video went viral. It was a clip of her sitting in the laundry room beside a mountain of baby clothes, saying, "No one tells you motherhood can feel lonely even when you're never alone." I thought it was beautiful. I shared it with my mom. I told Amelia I was proud of her. That was before the brand deals. Before the hashtags. Before the ring light became a permanent fixture in our living room. Before I learned that truth, when rewarded enough, can start asking for better lighting. By the time Lily was 5, Amelia had nearly 200,000 followers. Not celebrity famous. But local famous. Mom influencer famous. People recognized her in supermarkets. Brands sent boxes to our house. She got paid to post vitamins, children's toys, planners, skincare, and one extremely expensive vacuum she used twice before I became the only person who actually vacuumed with it. I didn't mind. I was proud of her. She had built something from nothing. And because her income was inconsistent, I kept my job in IT support. It was remote, but demanding. Some weeks I worked early mornings. Some weeks I worked late nights. I built my schedule around Lily as much as possible. I did school drop-offs. I made dinners. I handled bedtime whenever Amelia had campaigns to film. I was the one who knew Lily hated peas unless they were mashed into potatoes. I was the one who remembered her PE days. I was the one who knew which stuffed rabbit had to be in bed first or sleep simply would not happen. I wasn't perfect. No parent is. Sometimes I was tired. Sometimes I snapped. Sometimes I forgot forms in the bottom of school bags. But I was there. I know I was there. That's what made the videos feel like a form of theft. Not just lies. Theft. She stole my presence and sold my absence. After my sister sent me the first video, I didn't confront Amelia immediately. I should have. But I was so confused that anger came second. I sat in the car and watched more. Video after video. Some were subtle. Some weren't. When you ask him to watch his own child and he says he's babysitting. I had never said that. POV, you're married, but still doing bedtime alone. The night she filmed that, I was downstairs cleaning Lily's vomit out of the carpet after she had a stomach bug. Imagine having to beg your husband to attend parents' evening. I attended every parents' evening. I had the email confirmations. Some men want children the way children want puppies. Cute until there's work involved. That one had over 800,000 views. The comments were brutal. Leave him. Your daughter will remember who showed up. He sounds useless. Men like this don't deserve families. He is teaching her what to accept. I wanted to throw my phone through the windscreen. But the worst part wasn't strangers insulting me. Strangers don't know you. They build a monster from whatever pieces they're handed. The worst part was Amelia reading those comments, liking them, replying with sad little hearts. As if my character was community engagement. That night, after Lily went to bed, I asked Amelia about the videos. She was sitting at the kitchen table editing something on her laptop. I put my phone down in front of her. The married single mom video was paused on her crying face. She looked at it. Then at me. Not shocked. Not guilty. Annoyed. She sighed and said, "You went looking?" I said, "My sister sent it to me." She rolled her eyes. Of course she did. I stared at her. That's your response? She closed her laptop halfway. James, it's content. I said, you told people I don't want to be present in Lily's life. She rubbed her temples. I didn't say your name. You filmed in our house. People don't know you. My family knows me. Lily's school knows me. Your followers recognize you in town. She leaned back. You're missing the point. I laughed because the sentence was insane. I really don't think I am. She said, the videos are about a feeling. Emotional truth. I said, there is nothing emotionally true about saying I don't show up when I literally showed up this morning holding a lunchbox you forgot to pack. Her face hardened. I don't need you to audit my expression. There it was. The creator voice. The one she used whenever a normal conversation threatened the brand. I said, Amelia, you are making me look like a bad father. She said, if the shoe doesn't fit, why are you upset? That sentence sat between us like poison. Because she knew exactly why. I said, take them down. She shook her head. No. No? They're helping people. They're hurting me. She looked right at me and said, maybe this is the first time you're experiencing a fraction of how invisible I feel. I didn't know what to say to that. Because I knew motherhood had been hard for her. I knew she had felt unseen. But I also knew I had spent years trying to see her. Trying to support her. Trying to hold the house together so she could build the life she said would make her happy. And somehow, my support had become evidence of my failure because it didn't photograph well. We argued for 2 hours. She cried. I raised my voice. She said I was controlling her platform. I said she was lying about our family. She said I didn't understand women's pain. I said she didn't get to use women's pain as a costume. She slept in the spare room that night. The next morning, she posted a video. No makeup. Red eyes. Whispering. Last night, I was reminded that some people only support your voice until your voice makes them uncomfortable. I knew it was about me. Her followers knew it was about me. They filled in the blanks exactly how she wanted them to. The next few weeks were hell. Amelia stopped mentioning me directly, but somehow made me more present by absence. She filmed Lily's toys scattered on the floor with captions about doing it all alone. She filmed herself making dinner on nights when I had already prepped the food. She filmed school uniforms laid out on Sunday evening after I had washed and ironed them. She filmed herself crying in the car after drop-off on a morning I had actually done drop-off because she slept in. The pattern became obvious. She was not documenting reality. She was staging evidence for a story she had already written. And the story was working. Her followers jumped. Brands loved the raw honesty. She was invited onto podcasts. A parenting magazine emailed her. Then came the thing that made me realize this wasn't just embarrassing anymore. It was dangerous. Lily came home from school quiet. Lily was not a quiet child. She narrated her entire life like a tiny sports commentator. But that day, she sat at the kitchen table poking apple slices with her finger. I asked what was wrong. She shrugged. I asked again. She whispered. Daddy, do you hate being my dad? I felt the room tilt. I crouched in front of her. What? No. Why would you ask that? Her bottom lip shook. Mia's mom said Mummy makes videos because you don't help us. I froze. Lily continued. Mia said everyone knows you make Mummy sad. I have never felt anger like that. Not loud anger. Not explosive. Cold anger. The kind that makes your hands steady. I pulled Lily into my arms and told her the truth a 6-year-old could understand. That grown-ups sometimes say things online that are not fair. That I loved being her dad more than anything. That nothing on a phone mattered more than what she knew in her heart. She nodded. But I could tell damage had already happened. A comment section had reached my child. That night, I told Amelia. For 1 second, she looked genuinely horrified. Then the defensiveness came back. She shouldn't be hearing adult conversations. I said, she heard it because you made our family a public storyline. Amelia said, I never put Lily in danger. I said, you made her father a villain at her school. She started crying. I'm allowed to talk about my life. I said, not when your version of your life teaches our daughter that I don't love her. She didn't answer. That was when I started collecting everything. Not to post. Not at first. I collected because I felt like I was losing my mind. I made a folder. School sign-in records. Calendar screenshots. Receipts. Photos I had taken at events Amelia claimed I missed. Messages from teachers. Bank statements showing nursery fees, school trips, groceries, mortgage payments. Screenshots of videos where Amelia lied. Screenshots of comments she liked. Then I found the media kit. That happened by accident. Our printer stopped working, and I needed to print a consent form for Lily's class trip. Amelia's laptop was connected. A document was sitting in the print queue. Married single mom brand deck. I know I shouldn't have opened it. But by then, privacy felt like a luxury for people whose lives hadn't been turned into content. I opened it. Page 1. Amelia smiling with Lily blurred slightly in the background. Tagline. Motherhood, loneliness, and finding yourself when partnership fails. Page 2. Audience demographics. Engagement rates. Brand values. Page 3. Content pillars. Solo parenting within marriage. Emotional neglect. Rebuilding identity. Financial independence journey. Page 4. A paragraph about me. Not by name. But clearly me. My husband is physically present but emotionally absent. Like many women, I have had to build a life around unreliable support. Unreliable support. I had changed my entire work schedule around her career. I scrolled further. There were sponsorship package ideas. Deadbeat detox planner series. Single married mom survival kit. Leaving emotionally unavailable men, pre-separation content arc. Pre-separation content arc. My marriage had a marketing funnel. I kept scrolling. Then I found the worst part. A draft email to a production company. Subject. Documentary pitch, married single mom. In it, Amelia described herself as a woman preparing to leave a neglectful husband while protecting her daughter from repeating the cycle. Protecting Lily. From me. The man who cut grapes into quarters until she was old enough not to choke. The man who slept on her bedroom floor during thunderstorms. The man who learned how to make butterfly pancakes because she saw them once on YouTube and cried because normal pancakes were too round. I downloaded everything. Then I called a solicitor. Her name was Priya. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she said, James, I want you to understand something. This is not just marital conflict. This is reputational harm involving your child. I said, can I make her stop? Priya paused. We can start formally. But you need to think carefully before going public. The internet rarely gives clean justice. She was right. I knew she was right. But the internet had already been invited into my house. It was already at my daughter's school. It was already sitting at my kitchen table calling me useless. The final straw came 2 weeks later. Lily had a school play. She was a tree. Not a lead role. Not even a speaking part. A tree. But she had been practicing her tree arms 4 days, and I took the afternoon off because missing it would have broken her tiny dramatic heart. I arrived early. Front row. Flowers in my bag because Amelia said that was too much, but Lily liked flowers. Amelia arrived 5 minutes before it started, phone already recording. During the play, Lily spotted me and waved both arms so enthusiastically she nearly took out another tree. Afterward, I hugged her, gave her flowers, took photos, told her she was the best tree in the forest. That evening, Amelia posted a video. It began with her sitting in the car outside the school. Caption. When you're the only parent who shows up. Then clips of Lily on stage. No me. She had cropped me out of every shot. Voiceover. I used to think children needed 2 parents in the room. Now I know they just need one who truly sees them. That video got 1.3 million views. 1.3 million people watched my wife erase me from a moment I had been sitting in the front row for. And then Lily saw it. Not on her own phone. She didn't have one. On Amelia's phone, while Amelia was checking comments. Lily pointed at the video and said, "But Daddy was there." Amelia said, distracted. "I know, baby." Lily said, "Why did you say only you came?" Amelia looked at me. I looked at her. No more excuses. No more emotional truth. No more content. Just our daughter asking why her mother lied. Amelia closed the app and said, "It's complicated." Lily frowned. "No, it isn't. Daddy was there." That was the moment everything ended. Not the marriage legally. Not yet. But in my heart. Because a 6-year-old had just shown more integrity than the grown woman profiting from her confusion. I told Amelia to take the video down. She refused. I said, "Then I'm correcting it." Her face changed. "You wouldn't." I said, "Watch me." That night, after Lily went to bed, I recorded a video. No music. No crying. No dramatic pauses. Just me sitting at the kitchen table. I didn't show Lily's face. I didn't insult Amelia. I didn't call her names. I said, "My wife has built a public story around being a married single mom. I have stayed silent because I did not want our private life online. But today our daughter asked why her mother said I missed a school event I attended. So I am correcting the record." Then I showed receipts. Not too many. Enough. A photo of me in the front row at the play, timestamped. School sign-in logs. Calendar entries. A photo of the lunchbox from that same morning. A screenshot of Amelia's video saying I didn't show up. A photo Lily's teacher had taken of me giving Lily flowers after the play. Then I said, "I am not perfect. No parent is. But I will not allow my daughter to grow up believing her father abandoned her because abandonment performs well online." I ended with one sentence. "Amelia, take our child out of your storyline." I posted it at 10:14 p.m. Then I turned off my phone. By morning, everything had exploded. My sister was at my door by 8. She walked in holding coffee and said, "You might want to sit down." The video had already hit 2 million views. Not because I was charismatic. Not because I wanted attention. Because people love watching a story turn around. The comments were different this time. Receipts always win. She cropped him out? That poor child. The lunchbox dad has entered the chat. Married single mom? He's literally doing school runs. Some people still defended Amelia. Some said I was abusive for posting receipts. Some said I should have handled it privately. That one made me laugh. Privately? Where was privately when strangers at school thought I hated my daughter? Where was privately when my wife turned my marriage into episodes? Where was privately when my child asked if I hated being her dad? By 10 in the morning, Amelia's phone was ringing nonstop. Brands. Friends. Her manager. Her mother. A podcast host. She came downstairs looking like she hadn't slept. She said, "What have you done?" I was making Lily toast. I said, "I corrected the record." She stared at me. "You've destroyed me." I looked at her. "No. I interrupted you." She started crying. Lily walked in then, wearing unicorn pajamas, asking if she could have jam. Amelia immediately wiped her face. That hurt too. Not because she stopped crying. Because she had always known how to stop when the audience changed. The fallout was worse than I expected. Amelia lost 3 brand deals in one day. Her manager asked for a call. The parenting magazine postponed the feature. The production company stopped replying. Her followers split into 2 camps. Half angry. Half suspicious. And the people who had watched her for years started doing what the internet does best. They went back. Old videos. Old claims. Old captions. They noticed inconsistencies I hadn't even seen. A video where she said she did bedtime alone, while my reflection was visible in the hallway carrying Lily's toothbrush. A video where she said she had no help during flu season, while my voice in the background asked if Lily's temperature had come down. A video where she cried about making dinner alone, while the container in front of her had a label in my handwriting. The internet became forensic. It would have been funny if it wasn't my life. Amelia posted an apology video 2 days later. It was bad. Not because she didn't cry. She did. But because even her apology sounded like content. She said, "I understand that some of my storytelling blurred lines between emotional reality and literal detail." Literal detail. I nearly threw my phone. Literal detail is a soft way of saying facts. She said she never meant to hurt Lily. She never meant to make me look bad. She was speaking from a place of loneliness. She was sorry to anyone who felt misled. Felt misled. Again, no ownership. Just fog. I didn't respond publicly. I had already said what mattered. Privately, I asked her to leave for a few days. She refused at first. Then Priya sent a formal letter. That got her attention. Amelia went to stay with her mother. Lily stayed with me. Those first nights were strange. Peaceful, but sad. Lily asked where Mummy was. I told her Mummy was taking some time at Grandma's because grown-ups had things to talk about. She asked if it was because of the videos. I said partly. She asked if videos can lie. I said yes. She thought about that. Then she said, "But lunchboxes don't lie." I laughed so hard I cried. Children have a way of turning your whole philosophy into something you can put in a school bag. The separation became official a month later. Amelia wanted to work on things. I asked what that meant. She said couples therapy. Taking a break from content. Rebuilding trust. Then I asked the only question that mattered. Would you take every video down? She went quiet. Not for a second. For too long. I said, that's my answer. She said, James, those videos are my work. I said, no. They are my reputation and Lily's childhood. She cried. I didn't comfort her. That sounds cold. Maybe it was. But I had spent years comforting her while she turned my patience into proof I was invisible. I was done making her guilt easier to carry. The custody conversations were painful. Amelia wanted 50-50. I didn't oppose her seeing Lily. She was still Lily's mother. And Lily loved her. I was angry, not cruel. But I insisted on one rule. No content featuring Lily. No stories about Lily. No indirect references to Lily's emotional life. No single mom healing journey with our daughter blurred in the background. Amelia fought it. Then Priya brought out the videos. The school comments. The message from another parent. The clip where Lily corrected her. The media kit. The pre-separation content arc. After that, Amelia stopped fighting the content clause. She knew how it looked. Because for once, it was being judged without filters. Her career didn't end completely. People love a comeback story almost as much as they love a downfall. A few months later, she rebranded. Less motherhood. More personal healing. I don't watch. Sometimes people send me clips. I delete them. I am not interested in being a silent character in season 2. As for me, I went back to being what I had always been. A dad. Not a perfect dad. Not a heroic dad. Just a dad. Lunchboxes. Homework. Bedtime stories. Pancakes too round. School shoes that disappear 10 minutes before we need to leave. Lily still asks hard questions sometimes. One night, while I was tucking her in, she asked, "Did Mummy lie because she was sad?" I sat on the edge of her bed for a long time. Then I said, "Sometimes people are sad, and sometimes people lie. But being sad doesn't make lying okay." She nodded. Then she said, "You don't lie about me." I said, "No." She said, "Good. I'm very important." I smiled. "You are extremely important." She fell asleep holding the stuffed rabbit that still had to be in bed first. And I sat there thinking about how close I came to letting the world tell my daughter who I was. That is the part one still struggle with. Not the comments. Not the strangers. Not the brand deals. The fact that I almost stayed silent because I thought silence was dignity. Sometimes it is. Sometimes silence is maturity. Sometimes silence keeps children safe. But sometimes silence becomes permission for someone else to narrate your life badly. And if your child starts believing the lie, silence is no longer noble. It is surrender. The divorce finalized last winter. Amelia and I co-parent now. Carefully. Politely. Through an app when necessary. She is better with Lily than she was during the worst of it. Less filming. More listening. Maybe losing the audience made her notice the person in front of her. Maybe therapy helped. Maybe shame did. I don't know. I don't need to know. One afternoon, months after everything happened, I picked Lily up from school and saw the same mom who had once asked if I actually did drop off. She looked embarrassed. Then she said, "I'm sorry." I said, "For what?" She said, "For believing it." I looked down at Lily, who was trying to put a leaf in her pocket for reasons known only to her. Then I said, "Just remember next time that videos have editors." She nodded. That felt like enough. I don't hate Amelia. That surprises people. I hate what she did. I hate that she traded truth for sympathy. I hate that she made strangers feel entitled to judge a father they had never met. I hate that our daughter became collateral damage in a story about empowerment. But I don't hate her. Hate is heavy. And I have enough to carry. These days, I keep a box in the kitchen cupboard. Inside are little things. School notes. Photos. Drawings. The first spelling test Lily got full marks on. A receipt from the day she and I bought emergency cupcakes because I burned dinner. And, yes, the pink lunchbox. She grew out of it. One of the clips that made me look absent began 30 minutes after I packed that lunchbox. So I kept it. Not because I need proof anymore. Because it reminds me of something. Love is not always loud. It does not always film well. Sometimes love is cutting grapes. Finding cardigans. Signing reading logs. Learning tree arms. Sitting in the front row where the camera can crop you out but your child can still see you. That is what Amelia forgot. The internet did not need to see me for me to be there. But my daughter did. And I was. So yes, my wife told the internet I was a deadbeat dad. Yes, she built a career on being abandoned while I was packing lunches in the next room. Yes, strangers believed her. Yes, brands paid her. Yes, even my daughter started hearing the lie. But the truth had one advantage. It had receipts. And when Lily asked me if I hated being her dad, I finally understood something. You can let people lie about you. You can ignore comments. You can swallow humiliation. You can be the bigger person until you choke on it. But when the lie reaches your child, you don't stay quiet. You show up. And luckily for me, showing up was the one thing I had been doing all along.